Namaste yogis, welcome to your practice. This is Stephen from YogaWorks, and today I have my friend and colleague Caitlin here. Also, we work together at YogaWorks, and this is actually her studio that all these videos are shot in. And today we have something special for you because we are going to take you through a sequence where you use a partner to do some common yoga poses, but with some help from somebody else, which is a whole different experience than you might have been used to, because you'll find that first of all, it's a great team building exercise. You can do this with a friend, with a partner, with your kids even, they're going to love this. And often you find you get a little bit deeper into the pose with the help of somebody else, or you practice it in a slightly different way. So this is one of our favorite practices. We wanted to share this with you. So grab your partner or your kids or a friend, get on your mat. We have 2 mats here, but even if you have only one, then it's going to work. And at all times, the communication is going to be important, so just let each other know how you feel when it's enough. And feel free to pause the video if you want a bit more time, or modify something. We're going to be starting back to back. Just slide your hips all the way against each other. And then just sit nice and upright. Rest your hands somewhere where they're comfortable. And just take a moment to start the practice. We always start our yoga practice in a bit of a quiet, introspective way to step out of the busyness of daily life. And we're doing the same here, but now you've got some support behind you, and just start to feel the presence of this other person and your own presence, of course. And once you've settled down a little bit, can you start to feel the movements of the breath of your partner? Gentle expansion on the inhale and a softening on the exhale. You might have slightly different rhythm of breath, which is quite normal. Or you might actually find that your breath starts to synchronize as you pay attention to this for a few more breaths. If you have any intention for this practice, or you have a special wish for the person behind you, then you can set this now or send it to them mentally. And then you can blink your eyes open. We're going to start our first partner pose, which is a twist. So we're both going to reach our right hand back, and then see if you can find the knee of your partner behind you, and then your own left hand can go outside your right knee or thigh. And you keep the length that you had just before, but you just gently twist to the right. You can use your arms for a bit of leverage. But we don't want to go too far. This is our first pose, so just take some time to continue that breath work and enjoy the mild spinal twists. And then slowly release. We'll do this exactly the same on the second side, so just turn to the left. Maybe find the knee of your partner, and then your own right hand can go outside your left knee. Lengthen the spine, feel the upward lift, and a little bit of twist to the left. Without going too far, just keep it mild for now. We'll do some stronger yoga poses later on, but start off nice and slow. One more deeper breath. And on the exhale, slowly release. Now, my partner is going to fold forward, and I'm going to just rest back. You might have to adjust a little bit depending on how far they want to go or how not so far they want to go, but just see if you can just rest back. So I'm in a gentle back bend, and my partner is in a forward fold, probably outer hip stretch as well. Again, keep it quite mild. You can talk to each other to see if you need a bit more weight or a little bit less. And keep in mind that your pose might not look anything like ours. So just find your own expression of this. It's perfectly okay. Most people will not go as far as Caitlin, including myself. So just be okay with that. And then we'll slowly lift back up. We'll take it to the second side. So I'm going to fold forward this time, and Caitlin will just lean back. And just find a place where you can rest and relax. Accept the weight of your partner, but if it's too much, of course, tell them to back off a little bit. Or if you need a bit more, then you can also tell them. And see if you can soften into this for a moment. We're about to start our core work, so just take advantage of the rest now. And then slowly walk back up. Well done. This is the warm-up. And now, for a little bit of core, we're going to turn to face each other. We'll sit with our feet quite close and then just lean back onto the elbows. And then Caitlin will open the legs a little bit wide, and I'll have the legs straight. So we'll start off here. I'm going to lift up, and she will circle around my legs. And then I'll do the same as we come around. So just do this for a few circles. Some hidden core work, but just think of it as a game. Just a couple of circles. And then just when you figured it out, we're going to swap directions just to confuse you a little bit more. Circle around. Really great for hip flexors. It's a sort of boat pose variation, you could say, but quite fun. And then you can bend your knees just to come out. Now we're going to shuffle closer so that our hips are next to each other. Notice one of us, the feet are this way, and the other one is that way. And then we'll lie down and slide the right arm under the partner's legs, and then see if you can find each other's hand underneath there. Nice. I have no idea what's going to happen now. Neither do we know. We actually don't. All we're going to do is lift the lower back, lift the hips up, lift the legs up, and we're going to land our hips on the other side of each other. So something like this. Lift the lower back, scoot to the other side, and lower down for a moment. Lift up, and slowly lower. And see if you can slow down the descent. Your lower belly will thank you later. Let's do 4 more. Slowly down, lift up. Lower slow, that's 2. 2 more. Lift and lower. Last one. Lift and lower. Well done. You can bend your knees, shuffle out. There's no elegant way to do this, so just making it up. And then we'll do double boat. So sit a little bit closer. You might have to adjust the distance depending on your flexibility. And then start with 1 foot, both feet. Just figure it out. We're lifting the chest a little bit, and we're holding hands just to put a bit of tension to help us here. This is a great start. This is the full boat pose. This is where you can stay, or if you have a bit more space in the hamstrings, you can press your feet and heels against each other to straighten the legs and still lift the chest. May not be available today. So just find out where you are. And then if you're like, no, it's too easy, we need an extra challenge, we've got you covered. Bend your knees and move your legs to the outside. Ta-da! And then you can do that 20 more times. No, we're not doing this 20 more times. Just a couple more times. Just for fun. And then this is hard work, but it's also fun because you're trying to keep your balance and you're working together with a partner. Let's do 1 more. If you've got it in you, if you want to do more, you can always pause the video and keep going. And lift up, Well done. Release your hands. 2, 1, and come down. Well done. Double plank. Double plank is next. I'm gonna be the base at the bottom. So I'm gonna come into a solid plank. I'll place my feet a little bit wider, so I'm more her shoulder distance apart. And she's gonna hold my ankles and place her feet on my upper back. Of course, if you're different heights, you might have to change that a little bit. Nice. And then if you want the really advanced version, we could do double chaturanga. Let's see if it works. Bend your elbows and push up. Wow. Well done. And then we can slowly come out before I start shaking too much. All right, we have another version of the double plank. Of course, if you want to do the other person at the bottom, just pause the video and swap around. We're going to keep going to the next pose otherwise. So I'm going to base again. I'll lie down on my belly. My feet are her shoulder distance apart. And I'll just lift my hands. She'll place her ankles in my hands. So this is a nice one for me. All I have to do is keep my arms straight. But it's going to be some serious core work for her. And now if you want a fun little addition to this, then she's going to start piking her hips up to bring them above her shoulders. At the same time, I'm doing some core work to lift up. And then we can slowly lower down. We're breaking with our abs, of course. Lift up and lengthen, lower down. And then one more, just for good measure. Nice. And then you can just place feet alongside your hips. Well done. Oh, I'm just gonna rest you. All right, let's do a couple of standing poses. The first one, let's do, our inner knees will be together for warrior 2. So we'll start off like this. More or less the heels will be aligned, but you might have to adjust a little bit based on your proportions. Our inner knees touch, and then we'll just walk the back foot back into a regular stance until you feel a good inner thigh stretch. And then normally in warrior 2, this knee tries to cave in, but now I've got support from the partner to prevent that. And then you can stretch the arms out, just go on each other's upper back, and just give a light little bit of pressure. The knees and the arms, and between all of this, you find you're like nice and held and supported. Take a moment here, and then you can start to lower your elbow to your partner's thigh, and then lift the other arm up. This is side angle pose, and if you can connect somewhere up there, then you can do so. But if you can't find each other's hand, don't worry too much about it. So this is side angle. Roll the top shoulder back, and you can lean a little bit back even with your head or your upper back against each other. Nice, slowly release. Swap sides. Left inner knees together. Probably the heels will be, or the ankles will be close to each other. Step the right foot out as far as you need to. And then straighten the arms. Lightly touch on the upper back and feel that contact with your partner. So you're both holding each other into this pose and reminding each other of some key points that feel really nice in warrior 2. You might actually remember this touch later on when you do it by yourself. And then left elbow you can lower to your partner's thigh, lift the right arm up, maybe connect somehow up there, and then see if you can uplift and lean a little bit back. So see, she's holding my arm because we have a bit of a height difference. Just make it work somehow, that's okay. One more deeper breath, and then slowly release and come out. Nice. Now we'll do the back foot together in Warrior 2. So it's my right foot and Katie's left foot. We're stepping out, so it's the same pose, Warrior 2, but now we're facing away from each other. And see if you can hold hands or wrists, whatever works, and lean a little bit away from each other. So it's almost like a little tug of war happening in the middle there. Keep a good bend in your outside knee. And also feel the grounding of your outer foot at the back, which is a key point in Warrior 2 that we often overlook a little bit. And then release the hands. Slide your hands down your back leg. Lift the other arm up. And if your partner is really flexible, you might be able to connect up there. Then bend your knee that's away from your partner. And enjoy the best reverse warrior you've ever done. It's intense, but it's also really fun. And then slowly release. And let's swap sides. Let's do the second one. My left foot and Katie's right foot. The outer foot steps away. Nice Warrior 2. I like to have the heels aligned. So see if that works. And then hold hands or wrists. Bend the outside knee and reach your hands away from each other. A breath or two just to establish yourself in this pose. And then slowly release your back hand down the back leg. Lift the outer arms and see if you might reach each other. Yeah. Once you have a good grip, then you can bend your outside knee a little bit more. Or if you're unable to hold the hands, then just to do the same pose without holding, it's fine. Another deeper breath into the top side of your rib cage. And then slowly come back out. Well done. Now, we'll do a little bit of balancing work in Warrior 3. So we're facing each other. Our hands will be on each other's shoulders. And we'll just walk out as much as we need to lower the chest down. And then ever so slightly, you're just leaning down on your partner's shoulders. And take a few breaths here. This is a nice stretch after you've been sitting for a while, maybe you've been traveling. And then we'll both walk our left foot to the middle of the mat. And then see if we can stretch the right leg back. Warrior 3, the full version. You're likely to wobble a little bit. Oops, that's... Okay, let's try the other leg. It's probably much easier. So we're standing the right foot, left leg reaching back. Oh yes, see, much easier. Take another breath and then slowly come back out. Phew, I'm sweating. Hold, we'll do double chair pose. Hold each other's wrists out in front of you and in the left. Now we'll bend our knees just enough so that we can sit down in a good chair and then lean a little bit back. Nice. And once you feel quite stable, you can let go of both of the left hands. Don't let go of the other hand. If you want your relationship not to end today, and then you can reach that left arm back and maybe make a sound if you want. Ta-da! Come back slowly. Let's try the right arm. Lean back, ready for the circus. Slowly come back and straighten your legs. That's really good hidden quad work here. We have another version of chair pose for you, which is standing back to start with. And I will walk a little bit away from the feet. Glue our backs together as much as possible. And again, sit down in chair. And then we can go all the way down if that is possible. Press backs together. 2, lift, back, up. Just do 10 of those while we take a little break. All right, the next one, we'll stand back to back again, just like we started for the chair pose just now. But then this time I'm taller, so I'll scoot my hips a little bit lower. And Katie is just gonna relax as I start to round my back and come into forward fold. So for the partners leaning back, don't lift your legs, don't tense up. Just allow your weight to be carried by your partner. And actually what's happening here, she's in quite a deep back bend, but it's completely supported by my body underneath. She's actually in wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana, but a really supported version. So stay here for a few breaths. You can chat to each other if you want to stay longer. You never want to come out. This is one of those poses that feels really amazing. And when she's ready to come out, I'll bend my knees, slowly set her back down, and then straighten up. Now we'll show you the other way where she lifts me, just to show that a smaller person can also lift a taller person. Let's hope for the best. I'm just relaxing. I'm allowing her to forward fold and just lie back. You can let your arms fall to the side, let your legs just hang. And take a few slower breaths. And then she can slowly start to unwind. Nice. Thank you, that was amazing. Now we'll show you a bit more of an advanced version. It's kind of the same shape, but you're getting into it through a handstand. If you're like, no, handstand for me, then just you can repeat the previous one. But we're going to show you, so Katie's putting her hands down, her back is to me, and she's going to kick up. So I'm catching her hips or her legs. She has to hold just for a moment while I turn around, and she's bending her knees over my shoulders. And then all I'm going to do is start to round forward again, just the same as we've done before, but now she's upside down. That's the only difference. She's still really relaxed, she's just hanging down. She's getting an amazing stretch, similar to the previous one. So if you look, this is wheel pose, but she's hovering above the ground. And then if she's ready to come out, I'll bend my knees and I'll slowly pull a little bit so she can slide off my back in the other direction. Ta-da! Try it a few times. It's actually quite safe. It's easier than it might look. Right. So now we'll do a couple more inversions, some upside down work. The first one is a version of handstand where I'm going to be in down dog and I'll be the support for Katie to do L-shaped handstand. So look, she's placing her hands a little bit in front of mine. You might have to go more forward. If you're more flexible, come a little bit closer, I would say. And then she's placing her feet on either on the sacrum, which is the flat part in the lower back, or as she's doing, she's turning her feet out a little bit, and then she can kind of push my hips a little bit back, which is an amazing assist for down dog. Do you want to try to lift? So if you want to take this a step further, she'll have to push quite hard to take weight off my hands, and then I might lift one arm and the other arm, and now we're in this sort of floating variation of the same pose. Nice. Slowly come back down dog first, and then the top person can come out and take a break at any time. You'll find this is probably more intense than you had imagined, but also a lot of fun. We have another inversion for you, which is shoulder stand. We started with the hardest one first. Now, Katie's going to do shoulder stand, so she'll first roll into plow, and then I'll have a bit of space to sit between her arms. So we're back to back, and I'll just scoot my hips a little bit closer. I can gently ground her her wrists down, and then once I'm in place, she can start to lift one leg and then the other leg into shoulder stand. And probably when she does that, I might have a bit more space to scoot the hips back. You'll have to talk to each other to see how far you can go. And now she has a really supported shoulder stand against the shape of my back. Just stay a few breaths. You don't have to hold this for too long. If you have any neck, shoulder pain, abort immediately and just skip this one. It's not worth getting injured, of course. And then once you're ready, she can lower her legs down first. I'll stay a little bit until she's stable. And then I'll have to move out of the way so that she can unroll. Nice. Now we'll do a couple of back bends before we start to unwind. If you lie on your belly, and then I'll show the rest. Nice. So you remember this pose, this is bow pose, but then for this one, she will release her ankles, just rest the hands down, and then I'll move her feet so they're straight above her knees, and then have a little chair to sit on, like so. This is it? No, this is not it. This is just the setup. I'm just gonna lean forward, hold the front of her shoulders, and then start to sit back onto her heels. And she's got a very deep back bend, but you might feel that this might be enough for your partner, so you can see, you'll feel how much resistance there is. Or if there's little tears forming in their eyes, then just turn a little bit back. And see, I'm leaning quite a bit weight back. I'm really sitting down with a straight back and lifting the front of the shoulders. And then once we're ready, we can slowly roll down. And then she can relax her legs. And then what's really nice is I'm placing both of my hands in a butterfly shape on the lower back. I'm putting a little bit of pressure and then making little circles. This should feel really nice. Nice. Then you can swap sides. We're not going to show you, but if you want, then do this on the other side. Don't forget the little massage. You owe them. Let's do forward fold. We'll show you a bit of a deeper version, this time with straight legs, so we get more into hamstrings. We're sitting back to back to start with. And Katie's going to fold forward into the straight-legged forward fold. And then, remember in the beginning, we just leaned back, which is the milder version. But now we've warmed up a bit, you might feel you can take it a little bit more. So what I can do is bend my knees, scoot my hips a little bit higher, and then just lie on her back with more of my body weight. And then if you like to, the person at the top can reach their hands overhead. And I'm getting an amazing shoulder, upper back stretch, while she's getting quite a bit of weight into the forward fold. Couple of breaths here. And then slowly release. Now I'm straightening my legs. I'm starting to forward fold. Katie will lift her hips a little bit and lean higher up on my back. Yeah, you could go a little bit higher still. Nice. And then maybe her arms reach over the head, and I'll just lengthen them to the front. And see if you can soften. Might be quite intense. You can always reduce the intensity. But if it's possible, then just stay for another moment. And then slowly release. Of course, at no point you should feel any pain. It might be a challenging stretch, which is good, but it should never be painful. And I will turn to face each other and have legs wide like this. And then you can press your heels against each other to scoot the hips a little bit closer. And this is great. We're getting hamstrings, we're getting inner thighs, but we'll add a little twist So we get a little bit more into the side body as well. So we'll both take left arm over to the opposite side. I will show you what it looks like to just come in, and I will show you a little bit of a deeper version. See, our inner hands, the right arm is holding each other's forearm. We're just letting the body lean over to the side. Or if you have a bit more space in the side body, you might be able to hold, well, one of those feet at the top there, or both of them. It doesn't matter. And you can sort of pull yourself with your top arm, and with our inside arm we can also pull the inner shoulders a little bit more to the middle. So there's a bit of a twist, side bend, and hamstring and inner thigh stretch happening. Really nice pose. Make sure you don't go too far in this one. You can always go further as you relax into it. And then let's release. Take it to the second side. The right arm goes over. Left hands or forearms connect. Maybe you find the foot there. The foot is not important, but it might just happen as a result of your yoga practice or your flexibility of your body. It's fine. I think for the first 10 years of my yoga practice, I couldn't reach my foot. And then just allow the pose to do its work. No need to push and pull and try to go further than you are. Just rest for a moment. And then gently release. Now, instead of the final relaxation, Shavasana, we have another treat for you. Consider it like a dessert. We'll sit back to back with our legs crossed. And then we'll both lift our right arms, lean a little bit to the left, and then sweep your arm over and lean back. And this is quite unexpected. Every time I come into it, I'm like, what? But suddenly you're lying on the crossed legs of your partner. You're in a mild back bend, and they probably feel a bit of a hip stretch. If it's too much, then of course you might have to adapt the pose. But for most people, this can feel really relaxing and soothing. And just like we've done in the beginning, connect for a moment with this person that you have done this practice with. Feel the movements of their breath and connect it back to your own. You might feel your body settling in, softening down a bit more with every exhale. And then we'll just do the other side, so we'll come out nice and balanced without disturbing your piece too much. Just come up, lift the left arm up, reach around, and lie down. There's nothing much you have to do. In fact, the less you do, the better. And slowly start to make your way up into. Take a moment to bring your hands together in front of the chest. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart, and bow yourself on the hands. Namaste. Thank you so much for trying this out. It's like the first time you've done some of these partner yoga poses. Don't forget to thank your partner and come back too soon. We will see you again this week. Thanks for practicing.